What's up, guys, and welcome to the third episode of the Mad Cow Show. Today, I have two extreme sports games to review, guys. I have SSX and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. They're both extremely classic games. I remember back in the day in elementary school going over to my friend's house who just got his PS2 because of his brother and playing this game. This game came out on the North American launch of the PlayStation 2, so at the time, it was a pretty amazing game, and still is to this day. This game came out a little bit afterwards, but still pretty awesome in its own right. Now let's start this review. Let's first start with SSX. It was the first game released under EA Sports Big, and is probably one of the most memorable snowboarding games around, with its very unique gameplay, characters, soundtrack, and stages. I love the cheesiness of this intro. Considering that this game was made by EA Big, it's ridiculously unrealistic, but not as crazy as the newer games. Being the most simple of the series, the only tricks you could pull off are spins, front and back flips, grinds, corkscrew flips, and various grabs. The only trick that allows you to take your foot off the binding is called the experimental. There are multiple game modes to choose from, like show off, race, and free run. Race and free run are self-explanatory, but in show off you try to get as many points as possible by pulling off tricks. If you touch any of the colored snowflakes, the score in your combo multiplies. This can all be done in the campaign, and by winning the events on each stage, you're able to upgrade the stats of your character. The characters in this game are rather diverse. They each have different nationalities and personalities, and my favorite characters have to be Kaori and Mac.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
You can always hear them talking in-game in regard to your actions. One of my favorite things about this game has to be the DJ Rozelle.
Aloha Ice Jam with the human sound wave.
Rozelle always comments on the tricks you pull off and on what you're doing.
Combo. Backside 1080 with an experimental.
The soundtrack plays according to your actions, which really makes the game exciting.
Backside Misty.
Similar to a Burnout game, every trick you pull off gives you boost. This can be very helpful in a race or when you're trying to get more air off a jump. There are even pickups in races that allow you to do tricks at a much higher speed. The stages in this game are very iconic. Some stages are Mesa Blanca, a level in the desert, Aloha Ice Jam in Hawaii, Elysium Alps, and the most memorable by most people, Tokyo Megaplex. All of these stages and game modes can be played in two-player split screen, which provides dozens of hours of enjoyment. Now, let's play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. My favorite skateboarding game and installment in the series, Tony Hawk's 3 took what was great in 2 and improved on every aspect. It was the first PlayStation 2 game with online capabilities, and to this day is one of the highest scoring PS2 games by critics from many sources. Similar to its predecessors, the single-player campaign gives you the ability to play as many of the famous skateboarders at the time, such as Tony Hawk, Chad Muska, and Rodney Mullen. The objective is to play throughout the various stages by completing as many goals as possible in 2 minutes. These goals include scoring a certain amount of points, finding the letters to spell skate, or finding a secret tape. There are even tournaments that appear later in the game that serve as 3-round increments that require the character to perform as many tricks as possible and obtain the highest score. What makes a return to the series is the Create a Character feature, which was very fun and innovative at the time. Players can choose from age, hair, clothing, tattoos, and various other options. In the campaign, you're able to add stats to specific areas of your character's skill. Apart from the character, you could even change the grip tape on your skateboard as well as deck. A new version of Create a Park is back from Tony Hawk's 2, and honestly gives this game unlimited replay value. Tony Hawk games have never been noted for their realism, and neither has Tony Hawk's 3. Players can chain multiple combos together by manualing throughout the stages and by grinding on any conceivable object. It's this part of the game that really gives it a competitive edge. Even to this day, if I have friends over, this is the game to play to have an awesome split-screen experience. Trying to see who could score the highest is something that never gets old. The game would obviously not be as enjoyable if the stages were bad, but this game doesn't disappoint. You'll play in a foundry, a suburban town, Rio, and so on. My favorite levels by far have to be the airport and the Canadian skate park. The stages are much more interactive this time, and really add to the goals of each stage. If you think this looks like fun, it's because it is. This game is just so good, as soon as you hear the soundtrack, you just feel a whole warmth of nostalgia. When I play this game, I think to myself that this is truly the only Tony Hawk's game you need to play. Sure, the other games in the series are fun, but this game really stays in your heart once you play it. If you own a PlayStation 2 and have never played this game, I have no idea what you're doing with your time. Do yourself a favor and buy this game now. Thanks for watching, guys, and look out for episode 4.
Experimental.